Order.
Beckwith,
Here.
Cheng,
Here.
Farkapisi,
Here.
Kotsinis,
Here.
Linsdau,
Here.
Sutton.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Pledge.
Pledge of allegiance.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Warren-Newport Public Library District provides the community with access to information, kindles the imagination of children and adults, and supports lifelong learning. Would anyone like to speak in public comment? Okay. Let's see, correspondence, is that what we have next? Yeah, okay, so this I got today at my place. I'll pass that around for other people. I also got this at my place today. This will go around and back to Ryan. It's wonderful news.
It looks exciting, yeah.
It's
I'm
exciting
looking at your
news.
face.
Okay,
Well,
any-
we can go
Is
just
that
go
good
around,
enough?
yes.
Okay.
anyone want to remove anything from the consent agenda? Okay, can I have a motion to approve as presented?
So moved.
Andrea?
That's not around.
Did you- okay.
Communication with.
How about a second? Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Isn't that wonderful?
Abstain.
So we're just going to pass it around
Okay.
back to Ryan.
Next is Resolution 2019-2020-1 to appoint a new library trustee. Can I have a motion to approve?
Ann?
So moved.
Seconded.
All right. Discussion? Let's have a roll call.
Linsdau? Linsdau?
Aye.
Farkapisi,
Aye.
Cheng,
Aye.
Kotsinis,
Aye.
Sutton,
Aye.
Beckwith,
Aye.
ayes have it.
Okay. Swearing in.
Your kids can go up, it's all right.
Anybody want to join, Mom?
You want to come up there?
You're going to hold your hand up here. Oh, my gosh. You'll just have one hand up, that's all.
Ready?
And would you like to swear or affirm? Yes, you get to choose.
Swear, sir.
Okay. So just going to repeat after me. I, Catherine Arnold,
I, Catherine Arnold,
having been appointed to the office of trustee
having been appointed to the office of trustee
for the Warren-Newport Public Library District
for the Warren-Newport Public Library District
in the state of Illinois,
in the state of Illinois,
in the county of Lake,
in the county of Lake,
aforesaid, do solemnly swear
aforesaid, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of the library trustee
of the office of the library trustee
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. And I'm going to have you sign this too, Catherine, if you don't mind.
I have a bit.
Over here? Sign there. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, I move that we enter into recess for an acknowledgement of our incoming trustee.
Yeah.
The second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain.
I
Okay.
want to send them.
Is 7:17 and we are back in session. I move that we edit the social time out of the video.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye. Oh, discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. Okay, next is appointment of policy chairperson. So I would love to appoint Catherine as our new policy chair. Do you agree?
Agreed?
Thank you very much.
Good.
Okay. Okay, board roster, page 17. So this is the public one. Yeah.
And you had in your packets the
Yes,
confidential.
the one with more private
Right,
information.
Right,
That
so
was-
yeah.
is there any change? Your information was correct, right?
Yeah, I was looking to see if Catherine was on it.
Yeah.
Okay. I move that the board ratify the current board roster for filing. Oh, it says filling. Oh, sorry.
I second it.
We don't wanna
Like
fill
we
it
didn't
in.
look at it 100 times, too. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. Okay. President's report, page 19. Questions, comments, concerns? Who else has a report?
Oh.
Go ahead.
The auditors, I got to be the board of, the trustee the auditors called this year, so had a nice little discussion with them.
Uh-oh.
No, it was good.
It was okay, I wasn't sure if there was some sarcasm there.
Signed the engagement letter, they had interestingly put that the statements would be done December 1st. And we checked the engagement letter, it was 4 weeks after the end of field work, but I gave them until
that's right.
the next October expectation that they be done by October board meeting.
Right.
And I talked to the partner on that, so we should have them. And we're going to get our adjusting journal entries at the close of field work, even if they change one, that way we can continue with our monthly, starting with July's financial statements on schedule, so that we're not behind like we were before. And
Are they having a partner oversee any of
that's,
that?
this is the auditing.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
The auditors do a good job,
They do.
but
Okay.
we don't have any of the problems we had last year, which we shouldn't have this year, so. But,
Okay.
and then the other stuff is all the same. We went to the parade, we missed you, but we had a good turnout.
That's what I heard. And that Eddie was high-fiving everybody in his
He was
bear
trooper.
costume.
Everybody loved the
So
bear.
cute.
I want it officially noted that we won, Eddie and Mark did us proud and won the pork.
It was quite
contest.
amazing.
pork
I will
eating.
say. They also beat the standing record by quite a bit, though. It was
Yeah.
1.95, right? And it was 1.69, I think.
Shattered it, yeah.
Shattered
Which is
it.
big, which is big time. It's not like, oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot.
It is.
Do we still have the thing?
The trophy.
Yeah, it's out at the
Trophy's
Yeah,
security
it's at
desk,
the,
yeah.
it's at the circulation desk.
Yeah.
Ryan proudly carried it over his head through the whole parade.
I would have, but I would have had the bear do it, but the bear couldn't hold it with the paws.
With the paws.
But yeah, it was fun to carry it.
And he
Gotta
was
rub it
having
into all
more
the other
fun than
intergovernmental
you.
agencies. So
It was pretty hot, and Eddie lost, I think, a few pounds.
Yeah, in that costume.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Poor guy.
So that's my report.
Someone said he was
Okay.
walking off all the barbecue.
Oh, the barbecue,
Oh,
right. Fair enough.
What a trooper.
Yeah. fair
I don't
enough.
think that's kind of how you get rid of it. Okay, we won't.
Shh, don't tell him.
George?
Just reiterating also at the parade with the rest of the crew, this is I think, the best board turnout we've had ever. There were
Cool.
4 of us there, so
Good.
great to welcome.
Yeah, that is the best, yeah.
And we didn't have Joe slowing everybody up with, she's gotta stop and greet everybody along the side of the parade.
She thinks I chat too much.
She does.
Anyone else have a report?
Oh, brother.
All right, we'll move on to Ryan's report, page 21.
yeah, I'll just add that with the board members at the time, because Catherine wasn't officially a board member, we had all board members participate, represent the library for Gurney Days, because Bonnie and Joe also attended the testimonial dinner honoring
Dave and Cheryl.
the Ross family. Yeah, Dave and Cheryl. So
Joe
so
was
anyway.
at the rib eating contest.
Yeah, I
too.
went
Yes,
to the
yeah.
was.
So anyway, that was great. So thanks for advocating for the library.
Excuse me, this is Mark, who is the second.
There he is. Yeah.
The pig on the top. This is Mark's
And,
third.
yeah, I want to
Oh,
and I want to say
my.
publicly, I don't think Mark gets enough credit. I mean, obviously it's a team effort for sure,
Do you
but
drink the sauce?
but
Eddie drank most of it.
but Mark is we're not gonna say because this is public record, but he invested on the strategy and the tactics, and he's the mastermind behind the ribbon contest. So
Don't give
well-
it,
well
don't give
done.
us
Don't-
away.
don't-
The funniest
Yeah.
part was
Loose
when
lips
Mike
shake.
Kaplan was the emceeing, and he went to every team, and when he got to you guys, he said, so, you won 2 years ago and you want it back this year, and do you have a strategy? And you just said, yes. I'm not gonna say what it is. It's hilarious.
March 3rd.
Very
That's
good.
right.
Eddie's second, so.
Very good, you
Stanley
guys.
Cup already.
It's
Take it home overnight.
No, that's fine.
It's great.
Congratulations.
Yeah. It's so fun.
Another big accomplishment, we shattered our goal for summer reading. We were aiming for 1 million. We ended up with 1.2 million plus. So,
That's amazing.
That's a tough record to top.
yeah.
Do we know which school won our reading?
I don't know.
Not yet. They're
Not
working on it.
yeah. They're working on it. Tomorrow we'll know though, is my understanding. So yeah, and we'll
Very
contact the
great.
school and figure out how to work with the school to announce that news. So, let's see. Another thing that's not in the report I want to mention. We've made progress. You might recall the snow removal dispute in terms of we feel we were being overcharged for that. So we had a meeting with them. Their office manager came here, so they are sending us some revised. So we're kind of, I hate to say negotiating, but I feel good about the meeting. So we were very firm with our how we feel about the service and what they said that they didn't provide. So I just wanted to update the board on that. So that's taken a while, but we're getting there.
Pretty soon the snow's gonna be flying.
Again, yeah.
Let's see. So any before we talk about the strategic plan, any questions about anything in the executive director's report? So I don't want to spend too much time on the strategic plan, but this is the idea behind this report that's in your packet on page 31. This is the final report, and if you looked at it electronically, it's color coded. But if not, it's hard to tell in your packet. So if you look through, it's mostly green. We mostly completed all the action items in the strategic plan. Some of the action items we pursued and they just weren't feasible at the time. We added some things, like you might recall, we put a premium on improving the security of staff. So we installed the software to help the staff, for example. But looking through the outstanding things, I feel like we're in a good place with those. They're either in progress and things we can carry over into the next strategic plan. For example, with the style guide and branding guidelines, the style guide is essentially complete, but it's not something that we've had a chance to share with the entire organization. I think we've made a lot of efforts with some things like we're reaching out to different underserved groups in the community. I think we made a lot of strides, but I think we can take it to the next step, the next strategic plan. And fundraising, we had some setbacks, but I feel with the launch of the Legacy Society, we're moving in the right direction again with that. So I feel good. So what I wanted to ask the board for right now is some feedback about how they feel, how the plan went, and are there elements that you want to see us consider for the new strategic planning process, which essentially starts at the next committee of the whole. So are there any thoughts? Any Catherine, you're looking at this for the first time probably, so anything that you see that,
It's all over but the shadow, Yeah, it really is.
Just really complete.
So any thoughts? Anyone?
I think something that I didn't see in the plan was like metrics or things that we could compare progress against, like if we are more specific in the next plan that we sketch, to include Maybe could be just a broad range of metrics, but like if we're talking about new members, for example, how many are we, thinking about targeting or reaching out to the underserved population? What is a good, figure that we could potentially set as a goal, as an objective to maybe measure against progress in the next couple of years or something like that. It's the only thing that I noticed, that most of the things that were in there were more like generic and
Yeah.
not very concise in terms of measuring against a specific.
I agree. Yeah, I think one of the things that we could work on is the assessment. If you look in the assessment areas, some of them were a bit vague. And one of the things we looked at with the strategic plan was the idea of, there's something that the PLA developed called project outcomes. So one of the things we've been talking about in the library world for a while is, really, if you look at the past couple of decades, libraries have always talked about outputs, like number of circs and number of reference transactions, but that doesn't really measure too much, other than that just measures your volume as a library. And is that really what we care about? I think when you look at achieving our mission, those numbers don't really mean you're achieving your mission. So you want to look at the outcomes. For example, summer reading. How many of the kids that participate in summer reading are going to avoid summer slide and actually maintain their reading level when they start the new school year? It would be great to be able to measure that. So we could say 90% of all the kids that participated in summer reading, they were able to maintain their reading level or increase their reading levels. And that's kind of the next step, and that's harder to achieve. Like something like that, you'd have to work with the schools to do. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but I completely agree. We need to move from outputs to outcomes, and we looked at project outcome, and there were problems with that model, but it's certainly something that we should discuss during the next strategic planning process, because I agree that's something we are missing.
No, and it doesn't have to be very granular in terms of exact, outcomes or outputs, but like it could be like percentages wise, or if we can, like when we mentioned at the last meeting, but we wanted to take a closer look at the matrix or data matrix that we had in terms of the population that's in the district. Maybe just adding percentages of, okay, if this is our current members and there's this greater opportunity in the district to reach more people, maybe just adding a percentage towards what target goal we're trying to reach. So we know exactly what efforts we can put towards those goals to achieve those, whatever percentage we say we want to reach, or 5%, 2%, I don't know.
Okay.
You
But I think it
mentioned the
has to be more-
underserved populations too, and I don't know how we would even get data
Come see
on that.
that.
I don't know. But I agree with you, it'd be nice to see some kind of a data-driven model for
Right.
that.
Well, like analytics on demand, for example, you could look at your as an example, your circulation in a certain
Area.
part of the district, and if we were to have a advocacy campaign for that part of the district, and then you look at the numbers before and after,
Yeah,
you can do it
right,
that way.
right.
So there are ways you can do
Okay,
it.
okay.
But yeah, it would have to be pretty well thought out.
Maybe categorizing the new members that we're adding to the district and see, in what sections they might, if we have a way to organize the
New library
current
cards, you
members,
mean?
new library holders, and see of the new card library holders, how many are fitting into those groups that we're
Communities,
trying to attempt to reach to. Maybe that might be.
Yeah.
One other thought, just looking at this, it's hard for me, being new, to assess like level of effort. So are some of these more like quick wins and some require longer term planning and capital? So maybe if we could have a measure of that, because you'd want a mix, right, as you go into your strategic plan. Of
Yeah, that's a good point.
quick wins and some that are gonna require maybe a few people or resources.
Yeah.
And one thing I've talked about before, and I don't know if we've gotten any closer than we were previously. And we still do a great job of telling how much we spend in each category of thing. One thing we don't do very well is categorize our spend against our mission. How much is really targeted spending and how much is overhead. And that's not something we've ever really done a good job of measuring. I know we do a very good job of telling how much money we spend on materials, but materials are a tiny portion of everything that we do for our patrons.
Yeah, other nonprofits
Interesting.
have to report that on their charitable organizations have to report how much goes to programs and how much goes to administration.
Right, right.
So I think George has got it, you too, had a
Same
really
idea.
good point there.
Mhm.
So all the backup, like the entire circulation is programs. I don't know where we put security, but that would not be that difficult to do.
Mm, yeah.
I
Right.
mean, we could literally just have our income statement split between two categories in the fund. You know, program services, non-program services, or administration.
Right.
It would take, of course, we'd have to work with Lauderback and Amen on that.
Mm.
You know, we change a formula for anything and they won't get it right, but. So I think that's,
It's an interesting idea.
maybe
though.
for the next fiscal year, it'll be here before we know it. See, we just finished with one budget and then we get like a 3-month break and then we're starting the next one.
Mhm.
So, maybe I think we should take that into consideration.
It's
It's a
definitely
very
something
good
that gives us
idea.
input.
Mhm.
I mean, everything we do here is patron focused, but it's direct patron as indirect.
Yeah, yeah. We'd have to really sit down and work that out because when we did if you look at the strategic plan, one of the things we defined were the core services, and then these action items, a lot of them go beyond what we consider our core services. So core services are the collection, reference services, that type of thing. So maybe you categorize it between like core services and then other things you're trying to do. But yeah, it would be interesting to sit down and try to define. Like we'd have to figure that out. Yeah.
Well,
Which is
August
it's
now,
possible.
We got
Yeah.
to January,
Yeah.
pretty much when we start the next fiscal budget.
Right.
We could
Right.
look at what non-municipal or non-government sponsored libraries do for their budgeting. I'm sure there are some not-for-profit libraries out there that are not
I don't care what they
taxpayer
do.
funded. Well, just if you're looking for categories, that'd be a way to figure out how since they're already reporting to the IRS.
Feel free, but if it would have to be a charitable
It
organization.
would, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the others aren't public. Charitable organizations are public. 50C3. So you figure out which public library, not what charitable libraries there are.
Yeah.
Give Ryan a report.
Well, that's what would be good to see a model of. I think it's a great idea, and I don't know of any libraries that have done it, but it would be good to see like how they went about it and how they decided decided. Okay, this is part of our mission. This isn't. Some instances it would be super easy. Some instances it would be pretty ambiguous.
Right.
So
Right.
like where does it go? Or does it go to both? Do you do 50-50? I don't. But there are probably models out there we could look at.
Yeah, like does the children's department, or youth services, everybody who is up front with the patrons, but where, does the head of department, is that in there or not in there? But those are the sort of things we're questioning.
No, but then with also the heads of departments, like our head of youth services does spend time on the desk, and yeah, so that's yeah.
So I think we got a good idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea though. Yeah.
Think about it till next year.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else on Ryan's report?
Wait, we got the Abbott people. They're talking Abbott down here.
Okay, let's move on to landscaping.
Yeah, I don't know that I have anything new to report. This is kind of a placeholder to see if we did anything new.
There's a big hole in the ground.
Yeah, there's something going on out
Well,
there.
that's we'll save the worst for last. Let's see.
Oh, boy.
So I don't have anything new to report in terms of landscaping. I will say that there was some things they did that they're gonna clean up with the landscaping that so that's the small thing. So and then the flex, the same thing. I'll have more details of the committee of the whole, but right now we've got some things on order and. It's still open, but it will be closing very, very soon in terms of the computer lab, and we'll start the transition process.
okay.
So, now the parking lot. If I may
No,
move
the
on.
parking lot.
So, we were told going into this. So we've been working closely with Dave DePino with the Village of Gurnee, who has, is the one that oversees the road construction for the village. And he told us coming into this, his thought process, because the plan is for the parking lot was to do the front parking lot and then, parts of this parking lot over here. Some of that's been done more recently, this side, this west parking lot. But if you look at again, the south parking lot, the idea was they were just going to go in there, strip that, everything looks good, lay down a new parking lot, we'll stripe it, we're out of here, right? And then we can, we got that part done, we'll move over to this part. Well, as they got into, and Kevin can give you more details about this, I'm just giving you a general overview. As they got in there, they realized, whoa, there's no foundation here. So when they tore that thing up, it's basically like sand. So what they need to do is dig that out and put a foundation in and finish the parking lot. This is going to, right now we're still within budget, but only enough budget to do the front part of the parking lot. So we won't be able to do this section of the parking lot this fiscal year unless we were to change the budget. So right now we're looking at it. So there's 180 in the budget. Right now we're looking at 160.
So, but we were planning to do the rest.
Yes.
So we are over budget because we didn't complete the project.
Well, if you want to
As
look at it that way.
intended, yeah.
Glass half full,
Looking
glass
at
half
it
empty.
that way. Because then we have to spend
Yeah.
more money that we don't have to do the other part.
If we
Right.
wanna do it.
Not this
Right.
year.
Not
Right.
this year.
No.
Right. So yeah, not this fiscal year, but yeah. So we will. So
When
we
we
will.
do-
So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When we do it, suppose we do the other part, will there be a village cooperation agreement at that one, or
At that
will it be on our own and
Uh,
it'll cost a whole lot more?
I hope so. I mean, my plan is to. We have. I don't think we've burned any bridges in our relationship with the village on this. So no,
But do they do this every year? Repaint
They
this
do.
every
Yeah.
year?
They every year they take all the road projects, put out to bid. So yeah.
So whoever they're,
So
Bidding
that was
on next year.
160,000, or is 160,000.
It could go up,
Is the
but
space in the back that without the we found no foundation on this side.
I can't tell you 100%. But I would, if I had to venture a guess, I'd be worried that it's not. Yeah. So
If I could jump in?
please.
There's never been a
So
foundation.
the two parking spaces that we're talking about were done in '97. So they were added in the '97 edition. Before that, the parking lot, if anybody remembers, was on the east side. So when they laid that parking lot in there, they didn't lay any real foundation to it, as Brian said. And as the contractor said, it was just soil. So one of the problems that they run into is when they bring in all this heavy machinery, they have to have that supporting base to even work. So if they don't, it's just pushing the foundation around. So they can't lay anything on it. So that's why they have to go in and they actually, what they call undercut, which means that they cut all that out and they come in and bring in new soil. It's got new large boulders and rocks and everything else to create that foundation. So there's actually 3 layers to that once they're completed, okay? So the areas in the back, we've patched, and there were some areas in the front that we patched, but when we patched those, we've never taken out soil. If you've ever, if you've ever noticed on the streets, when they renovate the streets, they just kind of scratch the surface and then they resurface it. That's a totally different process than actually taking out everything. So you can run into this with parking lots because you really don't know what you're running into on the foundation. So because they were done at the same time, and this was a field area and a floodplain back here, I'm gonna guess it's probably the same situation back here.
I'm not arguing that it needs to be done. I think that, I don't like to kick the can down and do it halfway and then have it replaced. What I'm trying to get a hold on is since we're spending everything we thought we were gonna spend on the whole thing, now on half the thing. So do we really basically have to, I'm just thinking about the 10-year plan.
Yeah.
And,
So what I did, I mean, if you want to look at the good, if you figure in the reissuing of debt, I just quit. I didn't print it for tonight, but I put in $400,000 over here, which I think is on the high side. I'm hoping, and then I figured in the money that, we would be, with, when we reissue the debt, what that looks like. So if you look that out to 2029, 2030, we're still at about 79% of, basically our yearly budget available. So I'm not saying that offsets it, but maybe that certainly helps. So I mean, looking at the capital plan, it still looks okay, but yeah, it would have been nicer for that number to be higher before we were looking at this. So I'm not like that worried, but
The other thing
yeah,
I'd
but,
say is
yeah.
that's one reason why we did the front, was because everything that Dave was saying, we really don't know what we're gonna run into. And so instead of trying to
Start
treat the
small.
whole thing and plan to rip the whole thing up, then we really have an issue.
Yeah. better.
So that's why we plan to do the front first, see what we're running into, and plan for the rest. And that's kind of unfolding as
Yeah.
you see it,
Yeah.
so. We still don't have a completed timeline, because it keeps getting extended a little bit.
Right.
We were hoping to be done by Thursday. The original plan was hoping to be done by Tuesday. So it keeps getting pushed out a little bit here and there, weather's playing into it. And then also timing that they can get gravel when the quarry's closed. I mean, there's a lot of dynamics happening. But I mean, at least they're making progress and good progress. I'm glad we're working with them, because they do this on a regular basis. So they're very, very quick to respond and communication with us as far as what's going on. So
Yeah.
hopefully
Yep.
we'll get it done this week, but I haven't been told yet.
Right, and it just depends on other factors. With these things, there's always factors like they had to end the other day because they couldn't get the quarry, like it closes. We got to be back by 4 because it's just all these things that are.
There's other dynamics that play into
Yeah,
it.
so. But the good news is, this is going back to school, there are no major programs this week. The next major program we have is next Wednesday, Lunch and Learn. So if there was ever a time for this to happen, there was never a good time, but we're managing it. Obviously, there are a few patrons that are not happy about it, but we've explained the situation. And we're still operating. We still have a parking lot. We've been walking around. As of yet, fortunately, knock on wood, there haven't been any situations where we haven't had parking spaces. People have to walk further, obviously, but it could be worse.
Could be winter or something.
Yeah. So.
Is there a way to, do we have enough handicap parking?
Do we have enough? It's one of those things that we talked about today. At least I talked to Eddie about this, about see if we can add some temporary spots. So.
I mean, if we have a program that more people
Yeah.
with challenges will attend,
Yeah.
maybe we can put up a sign just for
Yeah,
that program.
I'm all for that. So we need to get on top of that. So.
So just to brief
Right.
our new board member, we keep reserve money just in case the real estate taxes don't go right, so we have cash. So we've had a nice reserve, which we liked, and invested in very safe, we have a policy for it, we never risk our capital. But because when the addition of the library was planned, they were anticipating a lot more houses to be built in Warren and Newport townships. And then the Great Recession hit and the houses have never been built. So we're struggling to pay our debt service. And at the same time, so we've since I've been on the board, we built a new roof. We've had to replace the roof because it was leaking. We've had quite a few major projects, like the landscaping and the flex we try to do with contributions and that sort of thing. But so as we eat down into this, at the same time we're paying down our loans. Hopefully, we can't eat farther than we can't our minimum that we have to have. So that's why I'm asking these questions, to make
Right.
sure that we're not dropping below our savings level where we're comfortable. That's it.
Yeah.
Just as another thing to bring you up to speed, that was Kevin Getty. He's in charge.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Of facility, okay.
Well, Catherine met Kevin the other day. Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
I didn't realize it.
But-
Okay. Yeah.
Reintroduction was good.
All right. Move on.
Any other questions, comments, concerns?
Don't ask us for comments.
Yeah.
Okay, no. Okay, let's.
One minor concern, I noticed this weekend when I was coming in, patrons didn't seem to be able to find the other entrance to the library. Is there anything we can do to make temporary signing a little bit better?
Well, one of the things we're doing, I don't know if we could certainly talk about signage, but one of the things we're doing is Sandy she might have even put it out already, or maybe it's scheduled for tomorrow.
I saw it on
Put
Facebook.
together a Facebook post to kind of like do a little map online. So people are finding us though. They're calling and we're, Yeah, they're finding their way in, so I don't know if we've got any other ideas about signs, but.
As just coming in late, a little bit late here, the parking lot was really getting close to being full.
Mhm.
But I'm more concerned, because I watch from the office, and of the fact that people are flying in here. And because it's very confusing and people
Yeah,
are
that is
coming
true.
out
Coming
and
and
going
going.
in, I think we need to find a way to put some sort of signage just saying, slow down. Because they think, some think they can only go one way, and especially as they come in off of here, there's people coming up that leaving lane, and they don't see it, the other ones keep
Sure.
going. So I think we need to figure something out in the next few days, because today we almost saw two big ones, so.
Yikes.
Yeah, the other day I saw someone flying through and I was like, whoa, you know, and clearly it was someone that isn't used to coming this way, so. Yeah, we can strategize. I don't know if there's a way we can put, I don't know, temporary, well, we can talk about it, but.
Okay, anything else on this? Okay, we're on to new business, and it's the budget.
Yeah, so I actually have another budget revision, and this is adding, this version I'm gonna hand out to you is adding something that was also approved, the last fiscal year. It's the security cameras that we installed, $24,901, so it's pretty, you know, it's an additional almost $25,000. So once again, these changes, are items that the board approved in the last budget, which we had intended to get done, but they didn't get done until the very beginning of this fiscal year, unfortunately. So are there any questions about this, why I'm?
The only question I had as I was looking through this, and I know some of these are intended to be running at a slight deficit, but trust. But IMRF is seeming to be a bigger deficit than we've seen before.
In terms of?
How much money is being spent versus how much we're bringing in.
Sure, yeah, that's actually intentional. So when we do the levy process, there's the opportunity to move some funds around. And in this case, we are wanting to get it under what we're spending each year, George, because we don't want it to go, because if you, basically if you, the balance that we felt was a little bit high going into the year.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that's why it looks that way.
Just making sure we don't have something out of control that we.
No.
What is
Correct.
IMRF?
Illinois
Municipal Retirement Fund.
Thank you.
Other questions,
That's the
comments?
state's
State pension.
big liabilities, or, and state
And-
liabilities too.
So you want a motion for this?
Motion to approve the.
Yeah, could I have a motion to approve this, please?
So moved.
I'll second that. Discussion? You wanna do it?
Roll call since it's a budget, yeah.
Kotsinis,
Aye.
Cheng,
Aye.
Arnold,
Aye.
Linsdau,
Aye.
Sutton,
Aye.
Farkapisi,
Aye.
Beckwith,
Aye.
ayes have it.
Okay, where are we now? Okay, so just for Catherine, the minutes of meetings and minutes of executive session meetings are almost always on the consent agenda, but they have to be removed if anyone was absent, because if you're absent, you're supposed to abstain from approving them. So that's why they're here under new business. So we'll just take a second for these. So can I have a motion for the approval of the regular minutes?
I'll second.
Okay.
Who's moving?
Ann?
And you first, and George?
And George
Yes.
second.
Okay, thank you.
Discussion? Let's have a roll call.
Arnold? Beckwith?
you have to
No,
abstain
you should
because you weren't
abstain
there.
also.
Abstain.
Thank you,
Beckwith?
Andrea. Aye.
No, not.
Cheng?
I'm surprised I wasn't last.
Farkapisi?
Abstain.
Kotsinis?
Aye.
Linsdau?
Aye.
Sutton?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Okay, everyone get a chance to read the exec session minutes?
Yep.
And they're all back to
Yep.
Bonnie?
Yep.
Okay, I move that the board approve the exec session minutes for July 16th, 2019, to remain closed to the public.
I'll say.
Discussion? Okay, never read
Beckwith,
that. Aye.
Farkapisi,
Aye.
Kotsinis,
Aye.
Linsdau,
Aye.
Sutton,
Aye, sorry.
Cheng,
Aye.
Arnold.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Did Andy abstain?
I was
No,
just,
she
she didn't
didn't.
abstain.
Oh, I
That's
didn't
just-
abstain?
No, you said
No,
aye.
I'm
You
sorry,
say
can
aye.
you
That's what-
recall that
that-
and,
That's what I was watching you.
yeah,
Yeah.
and redo that. I was thinking about who gets the box
I know, and I
of
was
checks.
listening to you and I was thinking, hold on a minute.
Okay, let's
Sorry.
Start again.
Start over, yeah.
start over. Okay. Arnold,
Abstain.
Beckwith,
Aye.
Cheng,
Aye.
Farkapisi,
Abstain.
There we go.
Kotsinis,
Aye.
Linsdau,
Aye.
Sutton.
Aye,
Ayes have it.
Okay.
I was actually wrong.
yeah.
All right,
There we
IPLAR,
go.
page 49.
49. Oh, yeah. This little thing that you have
There's this
to,
small.
you magnify it. Thank you.
All right,
49.
who would like to make a motion for
49.
this, please?
I move we accept the IPLAR report as presented.
I second it.
Discussion?
Wait, check it.
We don't? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. Okay, I had abstentions on mine. Okay, resolution, page 67. This is the brand new, well, brand new to us, but we should have been doing it,
Yeah.
resolution.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyone want to make a motion for this?
So moved.
I'll second it.
All right, let's have a roll call for that.
Farkapisi,
Aye.
Sutton,
Aye.
Kotsinis,
Aye.
Arnold,
Aye.
Cheng,
Aye.
Linsdau,
Aye.
Beckwith.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Okay. Bonds.
Okay.
Pass these around. Okay, so unfortunately, the market has been on the downturn for the U.S. economy, but fortunately for us, for our purposes, this is a good thing. So we are wanting to move quickly because I was reading this the other day and reading about in other countries they have basically negative rates, and I was thinking to myself, should we wait? Does it make sense for us to wait? And then I realized, and I mentioned this to Doug, he's like, Ryan, no, because you never know what's going to happen. And then we got to thinking about it, and for example, the president might decide, okay, I need to do something to stimulate the economy, so I'm going to end the tariffs, and suddenly the market starts to reverse itself. So and obviously I hope for our economy that it does, but in the meantime, we want to take advantage of the situation. So we are moving quickly on this. Jamie has wasted no time getting this rolling. So the very day after committee of the whole, the request for bids for the various services that we need, like bond counsel, disclosure counsel, paying agent, and I'm happy to say that we did really well with that process. As an example. You might recall that Jamie estimated the cost for bond counsel would be $25,000. Well, we got it for $7,500.
Oh my gosh.
And it's a Ice Miller, a very reputable law firm, and the same with disclosure counsel as well. It was projected to be $12,500. We got it for $5,000. So, they want our business, and so that's good. So we're already kind of saving more money than we thought on fees. So the no actions required by the board at this time. We're cruising along. The next big thing is the rating agency interview on August 29th. So we will talk to S&P, and I'm confident that will go well, and we'll get a good rating out of that. And we're kind of cruising along. So you have the calendar. Any questions so far? I'm happy to say everything's going smoothly so far.
Good.
So, Andrea, you have a question?
I'm perfectly fine with a special board meeting. We used to have them all the time for stupid reasons. This is a really good reason.
Okay.
I don't trust the economy. I think the economy's fine because everybody has jobs and everybody's looking for workers.
Right.
And I don't like to confuse the stock market with the economy.
Yeah, sure.
But the stock market's what's affecting this. So if they want us, if, we can get this moved
Faster.
along, because to wait is speculating, because we know what it is now.
Right, yes.
So if, I would just like a straw poll to know if people are open to a special meeting. We only, as long as we all agree on it and nobody's gonna say, no, I don't want it, because then I want to hear why you don't want it. At least we can get 4 of us in to approve it and keep moving.
Right. Yeah, I think
I'm
that's.
fine with
I'm
it. I
fine
work
with
till
that.
7 on Monday nights, just saying.
Yeah, my understanding with the schedule, this is a super aggressive schedule, so probably September 17th will be the earliest that the board will be prepared for the board to take action, but certainly if we can move faster, we'll see what we can do.
'Cause that's less
Yeah.
than a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so.
And how many days ahead do we have to post? I can't remember. 2?
2.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's 48 hours.
So
Yeah.
let's say in the odd event, because I want to be prepared for all contingencies, that where President Beckwith and Vice President Kotsinas, who would then be acting president, can't be there. Who is next in line at that? Would that be Bonnie, or can we select someone to act in that capacity?
You would select
Like
someone to
maybe
act in that
Susan?
capacity day of.
Day up, okay.
Well, no, when we get her, I guess.
Okay, so if there are only 4 of us there and George or Joe are not there, whoever are there, we'll choose someone to lead that
Mhm.
meeting. Okay,
Who's Susan?
so someone has to preside over every meeting, and you need 48 hours, right?
48 hours.
You need 2 days' notice. So if they say they can be ready in 2 days, 3 days, we can make the public aware that we're
For a
going to have a
special board
special meeting.
meeting.
Get in here and just,
Get it done.
they'll give us a short presentation and then we'll vote on it.
Mhm.
Yep.
But all board members should be notified so that if anybody has any objections, that we can take them into consideration.
Okay.
Other concerns or questions?
I'm really close by, so if you need somebody quickly, I mean,
Yeah.
I probably live the closest, that's me.
Yeah, and as long as we get 4 people here, anybody who can vote to allow other people here, then we can have other people participate by phone.
That's true.
Oh, okay.
Provided that the other people participating by phone are at a business type event.
Right, there's
Yeah,
only
we still
4
have to
reasons
follow the
why you
reason.
could, yeah,
Right,
so,
right.
Okay.
Mhm.
yeah,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah. I'm with you. Let's do it.
Okay, audit.
I feel like Andrea gave a great overview of
Yeah,
the
I
audit
think
process
she did.
earlier, so I don't know, any questions about the audit?
Well, if Andrea feels good.
Well, I don't
I'm
know,
okay about that.
we'll see the report. I think we're doing better than we did last time around. Last time around, we had to make a lot of, when the outgoing audit firm left, because normally as part of an audit, you give the client the adjustments, they make the adjustments, you check to see that they did it right.
Mhm.
So there was a miscommunication when
Right.
maybe they gave us the adjustments, we didn't make the adjustments, and they didn't call back a month later saying, hey, did you make those adjustments? Send me your trial balance. I wanna make sure you did them right.
Mm.
So with the transition, that part got
That's
missed,
tough. Okay.
so.
Yeah, and there were other factors as well, but we won't get into them, but
So
anyway.
we don't have any of that this
Yeah.
year. And the accounting firm, I wanna point out, subsequent to our hiring them, they have opened an office in Bruni.
Even
Is that the one next to Dr. Honey? No?
I don't know.
I think it is,
Oh, it
yes.
is?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, I think I saw it.
Yeah.
On Washington?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Across from the funeral home.
I think that's where they're at.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'll
that'd
be
be-
darned. Mhm.
Okay, items for next month's agenda? Anything?
Do I have to do the last executive session for approval for our, this one wasn't on,
Oh, okay,
so July 6th, or I'm sorry, August 6th. That was
Yeah.
this one, yeah.
Continue to-
sorry, that was our fault.
Yeah, that's all right. It's done, that's the best news.
Wait, it was on
No, not this one, I didn't see. Was
No, it is.
Oh, it is?
It's in the consent
Oh, it's in the
agenda.
first part. Oh, that's right.
Ooh, except nobody really saw them.
Exactly.
I
Where
thought
is
that's what we
that?
were looking at earlier.
No, we're looking at the.
Oh,
Oh.
That's what I thought I was looking at too, sorry guys. Well,
What
I
shall we
can hold
do?
it. That's right, it was here. I was looking at the other one.
Oh.
I can just hold it till
Yeah,
next time.
I can, well, we're gonna talk about committee of the whole, yeah. Yeah, the,
Well, so I thought
Look.
they weren't on this consent part here and it was over here and I missed
Except
that
we
part.
voted to approve the consent agenda.
We did.
So what
We
shall,
approved them, but we'll have to review them again, so they can come back on next month and we can.
yes.
Just take a look at it and then.
okay, just
file
put
it.
it back on?
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
Sorry,
Sorry, I should
I'm
have,
sorry.
I thought that was.
I was
looking
looking at
earlier.
this part.
All
I
right.
want to backtrack a minute. Can we check with the bonding, with all of this, to see if we need to have our completed June, our financial statements for June 30th audited, completed prior to this process?
I think Doug asked about that, and I think they said no for the
Okay, can
rating.
you confirm with me?
Sure,
And then
yeah.
send me an email?
Yeah.
Because then we're gonna need to light a fire under the audit fund.
Okay.
I'll go help.
Any other agenda items for next time?
Continued updates on our parking lot saga,
Oh,
It's
my.
the truth, right?
It'll be over by then.
we hope.
We hope.
I'll put that on for CW.
Yeah. Same with landscape and flex.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Our shortest board meeting, 33 minutes. Our longest board meeting,
Oh.
4
Don't tell her.
hours.
No,
This is a
don't
long
scare
time
her.
ago,
She's
before I-
already on though, so you
4
can.
hours, 46 minutes.
Okay, anyone want
We
to,
already swore her in, so she's it.
anyone want to speak in public forum? Okay. Announcements are there, friends meeting, so, I'm not gonna read them all to you.
We have
Anybody else
that-
have an announcement?
Is that September picnic thing on here?
I thought it was the 24th.
It is the 25th, intergovernmental.
It's
picnic.
on page
It
4
is,
of the
yeah,
agenda,
it
yeah.
is there.
So just to add, we're hosting an intergovernmental picnic this year. It is Wednesday, September 25th. I'm not sure everyone
Okay,
has
I thought it was
No.
the 24th.
I
RSV.
haven't received too many, but just
So,
two.
so if you
Okay.
plan to attend, let
Sorry.
Gina know.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Oh.
Gina, I'm
Gina?
coming.
Gina,
I'm going.
We're all coming.
Okay,
I'll be there.
thank you.
Coming,
thank
coming,
you.
coming.
Yeah.
I'm missing
You
yoga,
already
but I'll
got
be
you.
there.
Yeah.
One minor note about that, that is the same day as one of our local school board meetings, so.
Yeah, we
Oh.
are aware that there are conflicts. There's also a health, when you're planning this, Georgia's
I know.
always conflicts.
Somebody who's
So,
got-
Gina, can you send me
Yeah.
an email?
That's why it's
of our
early, yeah.
Email of the
Yeah.
8th, so I get on my work
so,
calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
I mean, that's the problem. You look at it, like every calendar day, there's a
Something.
conflict,
How many
so.
people do you expect at this?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry?
How
How
many
many
people?
people are expected?
Lot go.
Yeah, that's a fair amount.
Well, we
100?
expect a bunch, but we
50,
just have
70?
like,
Somewhere between
12.
75 and 100.
That's what I
Okay,
thought.
I
we just have
okay.
12,
12?
12 right now.
Okay.
13, I said I'm going.
Okay, 13, yes.
I'm lucky.
We don't have
Well,
too
we-
many, but probably because it's too early, that's
Yeah,
what I
people,
think.
maybe.
It's
Ooh.
well attended.
I've been to a couple, I think, 2 of
Yeah.
them.
So what is gonna be the format of this,
It's a dinner thing, right?
meeting? 'Cause I know-
So the intergovernmental picnic. So this is a chance for basically all the different intergovernmental bodies to get together and also some elected officials we talk about what's going on in the community. So we talk about how we work together. As an example, we'll talk about how we worked with the village for the parking lot and show our appreciation for that, and also preview the upcoming year. So each, the schools, the park district, the village, the township, we'll all get a chance to talk about what's going on. So it's a chance for you to meet fellow board members and just know what's going on in the community. A good networking as well. Usually our county elected, Steve Carlson typically comes. Sandy Hart, who's the county chairperson, has been invited. State representatives have been invited, state senators, that type of thing. So.
I really like it, because I
It's
sit there, every department does a lot of bragging. And, which is nice to hear, because then you hear what's happening in the other, things that we have nothing to do with, that they're working hard just like we are,
Right.
all for free. And then, I always look at everybody cooperating and talking to each other and think, this is how government should work. And, it's too bad that at different levels, because we're all on the board, none of us choose a party, and local government, and I think our community is a model of how it should work. And it just, a lot of good things have come out of that night, like, you know, the library cards being signed up at school registration, and a lot of good things come out of the evening, so it's really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. I've said this many times, one of my worries, because I was in I worked for municipal government, so in Arlington, Massachusetts, and so we were all part of the municipality. So we all worked well together because we were nationally colleagues. But here, like the library, we are in a silo. We don't have to work with the Village and the Park District. Obviously, it's our best interest to do so. But I worried, okay, what's that relationship going to be like? And really, we all work really well together, have great relationships, and we're always willing to help one another. And yes, there are, like at the county level, for example, there are Republicans and Democrats, but they all really work super well together from my perspective. And there's not, too much partisanship at all. So,
That's good.
yeah, it really is.
That's the other cool thing, I think, is that all the leaders of each group, you as the director and the mayor and everybody on,
School board.
it's nice to see what you all do with each other too, that,
Yeah.
that's how we got the parking lot,
Yeah.
through that relationship, and you work with other people. So that's what's really great too, is to see the leadership and the relationships that you all have with each other.
And I will say Gurnee does this especially well.
Right.
Other communities around us, not so much. So it's nice to see the contrast sometimes, and see how we're on the plus side of it.
And during the difficult times, that leadership came out and showed up.
Yep.
You know, the village president, the township president was here, the head of the park district, school board people, everybody was here from
To support the board.
leadership to support our library when we needed it, and it was that support that overrode somebody trying to, Joe and I had made a motion to adjourn the meeting, and it was because of all those leaders that showed up and knew Robert's Rules of Order inside and out, and prevented somebody from counting that vote instead of taking the roll call for our motion. And it saved our library. But I also want to point out that it's our time to shine, because it's our turn, and nobody puts on a program like our staff. So,
No pressure.
no, we don't need to, they're gonna take.
No, we do.
it'll be
That's one thing
short.
there's no doubt we do programs really well.
The other nice thing, it doesn't go real long.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not like
Yeah,
a
it's not
4-hour
4
dinner.
hours.
And it's a picnic, so it is pretty laid back. It's fun, and it's.
Do you
We
want
can
us
have
to
our
do
trophy though,
anything or
right?
bring anything?
Yeah,
Flowers?
We can talk about it at the committee of the
We
whole.
got a
Yeah,
new
of course.
button machine, can we have buttons?
a button.
Button machine.
We just have
Maybe.
to make sure that the trophy is,
Oh,
displayed
design,
well.
yes.
Yeah.
We have to have it,
Right.
yes, drape,
Right.
table, wheel it out, yeah.
Right. Right. So,
That could be our.
It is. Yeah, that should be our.
we have ribs.
We can't afford it.
Too expensive.
Ribs, let's have ribs, ooh.
We can have something.
That's a little.
Yeah.
Chicken, barbecue
Yeah.
chicken.
Yeah, we're in the process of determining what we're going to serve, but it'll be like picnicky stuff,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
It's
So.
fun.
Okay.
All right.
Anybody else have any announcements? All right, who would like to move to adjourn?
I need to adjourn.
Right, can I say one more thing?
Yeah, of course.
I want to remind everybody for the September meeting, we have to be here 15 minutes early.
But we have,
We have
not
the
for the
public
committee.
The regular.
The regular
yeah.
meeting,
Regular board
regular
meeting.
meeting, right.
Oh yeah, that should have been on here too. Yeah.
It's
That's
in
when
there.
the public,
It's in there?
It's
the
in there.
public can
Thank
come
you.
and say they don't like our
It
budget.
is public hearing.
Oh, public hearing. Oh,
Yeah.
good. Yes,
Yeah,
it is
public
there.
Public
Thank you.
hearing, so that's 15 minutes before the board meeting, so at least
that is.
4 of us have to be
We
here.
just sit here and,
Because nobody ever comes.
no, knock wood.
All right, so did we have, somebody did move to adjourn?
She did.
Second.
We move to adjourn, do we have a second?
I don't have a second.
All those in favor?
One
A lot of
second.
seconds.
All
A lot
those in
of
favor say
seconds.
aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstain.
Opposed can stay.
Oh,
It is
Eight,
8:11.
11.
Yeah.